Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. I hope everybody's having a great week. You may notice I'm a little scruffy and suntanned. The truth is I just came back from holiday, and as I was standing there after yoga this morning, looking in the mirror, saying to myself with my shaver in hand, I was like, ugh, I don't want to shave. I just don't want to. I'm not in the mood. And you know what? It got me thinking. I'm going to talk about that a little bit, about laziness and the inability to motivate you to do something that you think is super important, that you have to do, that you have to accomplish in order to stay on track or to reach your goals or whatever it is. So what are we talking about? So this week I've had several calls from members talking about their inability to stick with their fitness routine, or the fact that they like to eat in restaurants and they don't want to have to cook everything because they call themselves lazy. Now, lazy is a tricky one these days because our world is complicated and we're extremely busy. We have a lot of people depending on us, including ourselves, whether it's work or family or catching up on your Snapchat stream. Everybody has their own stresses, and along with those stresses come the lack of time. You know, time is a commodity, and unless we embrace it and take full advantage of it, well, it's fleeting, it disappears, and it's one of the very few things you can't get back. You know, you can lose your money and you can get it back. You can become unhealthy and get that back. You can lose items and then find them again. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. So while we might find ourselves beating ourselves up once in a while about being lazy or being a procrastinator, I think it's okay because we live in, like I said, we're living in a weird time where there's too much feedback and we expect a lot of ourselves. And in turn, well, let me paint a particular example. Everybody on social media is presenting their best possible self. You know, you see everybody's life is perfect, beautiful children, wonderful tans, the most incredible quinoa bowl where the egg is just perfect. We're not taking into account filters and editing and posing. I saw some people in Florida doing all kinds of selfies. Lots of, people in their 20s, they love doing those selfies on the beach. They just love it. And while they're just sitting there like normal people, when it's selfie time, the leg comes up so they don't see it squishing up against the blanket, which make their ass look a little bit bigger. Their coloring is perfect. They're applying filters so that it looks gorgeous, making sure the palm tree in the background is perfectly placed. And then we're sitting around bored, frustrated with our lives, raining, snowing, and we're looking through our Facebook and our Insta, and what do we see? Oh, wow, so-and-so's in Jamaica. Look at that beautiful palm tree in the blue sky. Oh, her life is perfect. Or look at this guy's new car he's posing with. Wow, what a cool guy. Meanwhile, his life is falling apart on the back end. We're only sharing with the world what we want them to see. But we've created a disease. See, the disease is that while we know that we're projecting a certain image online, when we see other people projecting their image online, we somehow forget there's a disconnect. We forget that they too are really mostly just showing their best side. They too are only showing you what they want you to see. Wow, Jason's so happy. Wow, look at that cool exercise. He's hanging upside down. People stop me all the time. Oh, Jay, I saw your video. You were hanging upside down from a tree. You're awesome. I show that part. I don't show the first time I did it, perhaps, where I hurt my elbow and couldn't work out for a week. Whether that happened or not doesn't matter. I'm a little different. I like showing my honest self, and even my portrayal of myself online is a very positive outlook. I don't show you when I'm in the middle of a fight with my 16-year-old daughter. I don't show you that part. I show you a picture of me and my daughter baking quinoa spelt chocolate chip cookies. That's how the world is working. So we find ourselves lazy. Don't beat yourself up about it. The truth is, we have very busy lives. We're taking care of ourselves. Those of you on the program are trying to lose some weight and get healthy. You're also trying to make sure the people around you are happy, right? We don't live in a bubble. Whether it's your children or your spouse or your partner or your parents, there's other people in our lives. And we beat ourselves up over things like not shaving. You know what? Who cares? Does it really matter? You're watching this video whether you like it or not. You may notice that, wow, when Jason doesn't shave, he might be a little bit more white on his chin. But apart from that, what does it really matter? Who cares? I didn't want to shave today, so I didn't. And once in a while, on those days where you're really struggling and you want to do the right thing and you're just beating yourself up over it, it's a double-edged sword. So first of all, once you have to start forcing yourself to do something, the enjoyment is gone, which means it's not sustainable, right? We've all been on diets or programs or get well fads, whatever you want to call it. And they're very strict, and you go in both feet and you dive right in and you're super excited. But let's say you don't like one of the elements of it. It's difficult to maintain for an extended period of time. It's hard for humans to do what we don't want to do. I watched my daughter yesterday suffer through her math homework. But just an hour before, she was creating beautiful music on the piano. But she had to do her homework because she's a child. And she's got to get through certain difficult boundaries, and she's got to cross over some walls, and she's got to once in a while do something she doesn't like in order to live the dream, right? You have to force yourself once in a while to get through the boot camp so that you can enjoy the results. Six-packs don't come from lemon juice and not eating carbs. A six-pack comes from working out, eating well, and getting a good night's sleep. There's a lot of different elements. So what am I trying to say? I know I'm all over the place today, but that's okay because I just came home from vacation. So I'm a little bit bamboozled. I got a lot of stuff on my plate. I've got a lot of work to do. I've got members calling me with some personal issues, and they need some more one-on-one time, which I love and I'd love to do. That takes priority to over almost everything else. So while I seem a little bit frustrated, what I'm trying to explain today is that, I guess what I'm trying to talk about today is let's not beat ourselves up over things that we perceive to be super important. Unfortunately, I just got news about a month ago that a friend of mine, 42 years old, passed away from cancer. And nobody knew she was suffering. And it was devastating to the community. Those of us who knew her loved her. And she didn't tell anybody except for her family and her closest friend. And she lost her battle. And then just 2 days ago, I'm talking to one of our members. And she shared with me that she needed some time to talk. One of her friends' husbands committed suicide. And in the same sentence, she went on to tell me that it was only her second day on her food plan, and that just before she started, she binged on 9 cookies. And I said, why are you beating yourself up over this? Your friend just lost her husband. They're going through something traumatic, and by the way, so are you. Whether it impacts you directly or a little bit more subconsciously or on a very profound, deep level, it's a traumatic experience to which you've now been exposed. And that is going to affect your life, I told her. I said, have you ever smoked cigarettes? I asked her, and she said, yeah, I quit multiple times. I said, I can bet dollars to donuts, or let's say something healthy, dollars to apples, that every time you decided you were going to quit the day before, or the 2 days before, you smoked twice, maybe 3 times as many cigarettes than you normally would have. She confirmed that was true, and I know that too because I was a smoker, and it was the hardest thing I ever had to quit. And I know that every time I used to enjoy that last, okay, that was the last one. So that's what she did with her cookies. She got the meal plan, she looked at it, she got excited, and then the night before she found a moment of weakness. It happens. We're real, we're humans. It happens. We get weak once in a while, and it's okay. Stop beating yourself up, I told her. I said, you had those cookies knowing how it would make you feel. How did you feel after? Were they delicious? Yeah, there were cookies. I said, right. The cookie you ate today was the same taste as the cookie you ate yesterday and the day before and the day before, and it's the same cookie that got you to the point you are today. Unhappy with your health, unhappy with your weight. So, I want you, rather than beat yourself up over the 9 cookies you just ate, embrace it. How did your stomach feel when you finished eating? Because you've been eating clean for 2-3 weeks, I said. She told me that she had actually a stomach ache and that she was ashamed of herself. She felt guilty and she just wasn't feeling good. And then she got that sugar rush. And of course, what comes after the rush? The crash. And she felt bad and she had a tummy ache. And I told her to embrace this feeling. Be aware of it. Accept it because you caused it. Nobody forced you to eat those cookies. You did it. But that's the point. You've already done it. Now it's time to take it and learn from it. Tomorrow morning, when you're in the washroom and your stomach isn't feeling right, and it's not just a quick and easy experience. Remember why that happened. Remember that you ate 9 cookies the night before in a moment of weakness. Remember that it made you feel terrible about yourself, both physically and emotionally, and use it as a tool to fuel progress, to fuel your growth. You know, it's only a mistake if we don't learn from it. I'm making mistakes every single day. That's how I learn. I'm a very kinetic learner. You can tell me something 100 times. It's a very unlikelihood that I'm going to absorb it that first time around, unless I experience it with my own hands, tactile, touch it, feel it, experience it. Well, I don't really learn it, not in a real solid way. So experience what you've just experienced. Don't just let it be a fleeting episode that you're going to repeat again and again. I guarantee those 9 cookies wasn't the first cookie binge this woman's ever experienced. But it may just be her last if she can use it as a tool to fuel her recovery. Because that's what we're doing. We're recovering. We're learning from our mistakes. We're not beating ourselves up over things that, well, quite frankly, are part of the human condition. You know, we give ourselves too much credit. We think we're so spectacular and smart and we can conquer anything. And it's not our fault, it's our parents' fault, because they told us we could be anything. They told us we could do anything. And then you fast forward it 20 years ahead, and we're not rich, and I'm not gorgeous, and I'm overweight, and I'm not happy with the choices I've made. Nobody told us that this was going to happen. Everybody said, if you think you can do it, well, then you can do it. And that's where it all stems from. The guilt and the shame and the fact that we're beating up ourselves over expectations that maybe are unfulfilled. You know, we're all at different positions. My grandfather used to say the funniest thing: man plans and God laughs. And as simple as that is, it's also quite profound. It's an interesting thought that really some things are just out of our control. Because aren't we just animals living on this planet? Yes, we've learned to communicate and form social circles. And that was very much not planned. The reason humans have been able to evolve beyond, say, Neanderthals, which both coexisted at a time, by the way, both humanoids, or humanins they're called, the reason we as people today developed the way we did as opposed to Neanderthals, very simple. It's our brow. If you look at ancient civilizations, they had a larger brow, which forced the eyebrows down where you could barely see them. Now, once your eyebrows are pushed down beneath where you can't see them, it's very hard to read expression. Smiles, anger, sadness, it all kind of looks the same. So one branch of these humanoids started evolving where the hair became more pronounced than the brow. And it allowed humans to interconnect and understand our emotions, what we're talking about, what we're feeling, what we're trying to express. Even before language was concrete, you could read a lot through emotions, right? That's how we communicate. If you've ever seen somebody walking around with a fully veiled face, it's a scary feeling. The reason it's so scary is because we're not connecting with their eyes. And when humans can't connect with another human's eyes, it sets up a lot of red flags. It's scary and it's dangerous. And what's going on behind there? We don't know this person, what they're thinking, what they're saying, who they are, and what they look like. That scares us. Why am I talking about this? Because we are just partway through an evolutionary process. We're just another animal borrowing time on this planet. And when we pass, time continues. Time will continue to move on. While time is a commodity and limited, it's only for the individual, because in the big picture, time keeps on going with or without us. When people pass away, time moves on. When you make life changes, time moves on. So when I was speaking to this wonderful member who was going through this struggle yesterday, I explained to her the concept of the wedge effect. Picture a big letter V. At the very tip of the V is where you're standing right now. Okay? Now, based on the decision you make at the tip of the V, time is going to continue to go in one of two directions. Having made a choice to change how you feel, making that choice to use this tool and this news and this binge to start a new page. That's the arrow. Things are going to start. The trajectory starts to change. And then had you not used this as a tip, had you not used this to fuel your growth and evolution, well, then you start to evolve in this way. And as time passes, the two realities become farther and farther away from each other. So the trick is, take advantage of the point of the wedge. It's the easiest time you will ever have to make any decision. Every moment, every step of the way, with every decision we are granted the opportunity to make, it's a new point of a new wedge. And a combination of good wedges heading in the same direction towards success, towards growth, towards improvement, towards evolution, towards Cro-Magnon man. Do you want to be left a Neanderthal that can't communicate? Or do you want to evolve with our species into the best, strongest, most vibrant animal on the planet? I know it's crazy thought that I'm saying, but that's truly what we're talking about. This isn't a joke. We have the power to help ourselves evolve in the direction we want to evolve. So, stop beating yourself up over it. If you had an extra tablespoon of honey in your coffee this morning, enjoy it. It's sweet, it's delicious. Doesn't mean you have to do it every day. You enjoyed it that one time. Remember, if you want to occasionally enjoy a treat like that, the only way to occasionally enjoy a treat or a pleasure or something decadent is to do it sporadically. Because chances are that treat, that savory, whatever it is that turns you on, if you do it every day, it will kill you. And then you can never enjoy it again. So enjoy it occasionally, once in a while. Don't beat yourself up over things that are just part of our animal nature. Embrace it, learn from the experience, and continue to grow forward. I hope this was helpful. I hope I rang a couple of bells and turned on a couple of lights for you, because isn't that what I'm here to do? I want to help you on your journey towards optimization. I want you to enjoy your life and grab it and take advantage of it and live it to its fullest, because it's under our control to make those choices. Have an amazing day. Have a beautiful week. Eat well, be well, and I can't wait to see you soon.